Hello my friends and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Big developments in Ukraine, and we're going to discuss the massive Russian attack on Ukraine with drones, 171. Then we're going to discuss the Ukrainians' attack on the Engels 2 military airbase in Saratov. They used about 132 drones. The Russians are advancing, got the Ukrainians out, or NATO out of Kursk. The Ukrainians seem to have, how should I put it, not have, they started a new offensive, and in Belgorod Oblast, the Ukrainians received more F-16s. I wonder what happened with the previous ones, and information like this. Now let's start with the first article, which comes from Ukrainska Pravda. It is from Thursday, March 20th, 2025. Russia attacks Ukraine with 171 drones overnight. 75 destroyed by air defenses, 63 failed to reach their target. So that means what? 138 drones. 138. All right, so let's see what else happened with the other ones. So they attacked with 171. And then they said they destroyed 75. They launched them from the usual suspects, from Oriol, Shatalovo, Milerovo, Primorsko-Akhtarsk, and from temporary occupied Crimea. So I'm assuming that's Cape Shauda. So I don't have Kursk here, I don't have Belgorod. It's Oriol, Shatalova, Milerovo. So here it is. Oriol, Shatalovo is right here. Usually they do it from Bryansk and Kursk, but not this time. Then you have Milerovo right here. Then I have Primorsko-Akhtarsk. It's exactly here. Primorsko-Akhtarsk. And then they said from occupied Crimea, which usually means Cape Shauda. It is exactly here by the Kerch Bridge, this exact location. All right, so let's see what oblasts they attacked. They attack Kharkiv, Poltava, Sumy, Chernihiv, Cherkasy, Kyiv, Zhytomyr, Vinnytsia, Kirovohrad, Dnipropetrovsk, Zaporozhye, and Kherson Oblast. So no Nikolaev, no Odessa. So that is, let's go back to the map. So here it is, Chernihiv, Sumy, I don't get, was not Sumy, Kharkiv, Dnipropetrovsk, Zaporozhye, Kherson, nothing in here in the south by the Black Sea. All right, then you have Poltava, Cherkasy, Kyiv, Zhytomyr, Vinnytsia, Khmelnytsky, Kirovohrad. So this is the area, basically, not too much to south. All right, let's see. The next article comes from Ukrinform. They say the same thing. Ukraine forces down 75 enemy drones. Overnight, 63 are lost from radar. Okay. But this is what they did, the Russians. This is according to the Ukrainska Pravda. Russia launches large-scale attack on Kupiansk and Kharkiv Oblast. So Kupiansk, Kharkiv, in Kharkiv Oblast. Kupiansk is right here. Yeah, this is Kharkiv, Kharkov, in the far east of Ukraine. This is where the Russians are trying to encircle Kupiansk. It's almost, well, I think the situation is really, really bad for Kupiansk anyway. So this is Kupiansk, and the Russians are going around it. And they will probably cut their supply lines, and they will do the same thing they did, and they will do in Pokrovsk. So this is what they talked about in this article. Let's see, where was that? This is the one. And then we got the next one, because the Ukrainians returned the favor. Ukrainska Pravda. Russia claims to have downed 132 Ukrainian drones overnight. And I'm going to show you what the Ukrainians report in doing. But they say, hey, just Russia claims. So this is only what they downed out of, well, let's see if they're going to tell us. The Russian Defense Ministry has claimed that air defense forces downed 132 Ukrainian drones. Air defense systems destroyed 132. Peep, peep. Okay, here it is. They're going to tell us where these drones were downed according to the Russian Defense Ministry. 54 Ukrainian drones over Russian Saratov Oblast. Well, Saratov Oblast is far, far away. I will show you here. This is, we're going to get to Saratov when we're going to get to Engels base, right? So let's hold our horses. 40 over Voronezh Oblast. So Saratov, just so you know, on the big scale of things. So this is Ukraine, right? So Voronezh is here, Saratov is going down there to far east on the Volga River. That's where Saratov is. So this is Voronezh, they said. All right, let's see which one is it. 40 over Voronezh, 20 over Belgorod Oblast. Belgorod. Right here, Belgorod. This is south of Kursk. I think I'm going to get it right. Yeah. 9 over Rostov, 3 over Kursk. Rostov is this right here on Don. This is Rostov, and then they said Kursk right here. So basically all this thing by the border, and Saratov, which is further away. I will show you. And 1 over Lipetsk Oblast, as well as 3 drones over temporarily occupied Crimea. All right, let's see what they did. According to the Ukrainians, Ukrinform, Russia reports 132 drones, fires at Engels airfield oil depot. So let's see if they tell us anything else. There's some pictures here. I'm not gonna play them. Despite claims of successful interception, reports indicate significant damage and fires. In Saratov region, a fire broke out at an oil depot in Engels. I will show you where that is, as reported by Russian Telegram channels and media, citing local residents. This is New Voice of Ukraine. Engels airbase in flames after Ukraine's special service coordinated attack. The overnight attack on Engels airbase in Russia, Kharkiv Oblast, was a coordinated operation carried out by Ukraine security services and special operations with the help of Americans and the Brits, but they don't say that. Now, where is that located? Here is the airfield. And this is where the strategic bombers are located. And here is the Saratov, and I'm going to show you on a big Saratov Oblast. In a big scheme of things, Saratov is right here is Ukraine. For Ukraine, this is Volga River right here, and that's where they attacked. Here is Moscow, just for the comparison. All right, pam, long range. So let's see what kind of bombers they say they might have struck. So you have 295 MS, which is this right here. Then you got 222, I think it was. 222 M3, which is this bomber right here. And then the last one is 2-160, if I remember correctly. Yeah, 2-160 bombers. And that is right there. This is the, let me take my face out. There you go. This is the Swan. So 2-160, 2-22, 2-95. Okay, nuclear weapons, boom, and boom. This is the one that retracts its wings, you see. So when they go to higher speeds, this wing just retracts like that and it goes straight back. All right, so let's see what else these guys report. As well as storage facilities for guided bombs and cruise missiles, therefore playing a direct role in launching missiles against Ukraine. So this is a military strike. And I'm going to show you the oil refinery, or whatever they said it is. Oil facility. Where is it? Oil depot. Okay, let me show you where that is. All right, so here is again Saratov. This is Engels. Saratov is orange right there. So this Engels, this is Volga River. This is Engels base that we just went over there, and all the bombers are located right there. And we can pinpoint this one right here. This is the one with 160 with the retractable wings. And I got some more here anyway. You're going to see them. Beautiful, beautiful planes. And out of this, you go to the oil, which is right here. This is where they have across from the Engels base, Engels, the city of Engels, across the Volga on Saratov. Here is the oil refineries and depots, and what else they have here. Big so this is one, and this is across as well here. So this is the area basically, and technically and directly. Next, New Voice of Ukraine. Russian forces claim Ukrainian incursion in Belgorod Oblast. So the Ukrainians invaded. Ukrainian forces reportedly advanced into Russia's Belgorod Oblast, but it is unclear whether they still hold those positions. All right, let's see where Belgorod is. Belgorod is south of Kursk, in here. So they claim they invaded this area. Now, I don't know if they're going to be from Kharkiv, Kharkov, or from Sumy area. Let's see if they tell us. Recent geolocated photos indicate the Ukrainian forces advances along the international border south and southwest of Russian village of Demidovka, in southwest of the village of Grafovka. All right, let's see what those guys are. So here is where they're talking about. Here is Savkovka and this is Demidovka. So in here, right here, and I'm going to show you, this is a border. I'm going to show you where this is located. Just, you know, so you have these little things as a reference. So it's south of it. So we're going to go to the other map right here. See this? So it's right here. In this area, they try to get in. This is Belgorod Oblast in here, this area. This is where the Ukrainians supposedly started their new offensive, I guess. All right, let's move on. Ukraine bolsters air power with new batch of F-16s. Bring them on. That means you ran out of the other one. And they put right here the Ukrainian flag. I don't think that's real. But anyway, who knows. A new batch of F-16 fighter jets has been delivered to Ukraine, President Zelenskyy said during an online briefing on March 19th. The good news is that additional F-16s have arrived in Ukraine. The Russians lied about shooting down an F-16. This is a lie. Nobody shot down the F-16. Nobody being your Patriot system. Yeah, we know it got shot down. All right, but you say, oh my God, look at this 1974 airplane right there for you. Go and hop on it and see how well it's gonna. All right, Ukraine received previously batch from Denmark, the great country of Denmark. And then we got the next one, Zelenskyy. Ukraine receives new batch of F-16s. What do we find? No, they don't say how many, and the Russians lied. Now, facts. On F-16, they let us know crashed. Let's be, okay, not inoffensive, neutral, crashed. Some people say eventually, even the Americans say it was a friendly fire. So it didn't crash, it was shot down by a missile. Now this forks into a Russian missile or a Ukrainian missile. And because they didn't want to say, hey, this plane sucks, or the Russians can screw it at the first attempt, we're not going to say it was the Russian missile, we're going to say it was a friendly fire, but still a missile, okay? So, the first time they used the F-16s, they let us know one F-16 was down. After that, I heard only one time when these F-16s entered a mission. That's it. Never after the first one. So there's two times that I know, and I read these newspapers daily, twice or three times a day. And they never said, the F never mentions, only one time after. That guy, oh, we're going to go the F-16s in, blah, blah, blah. One was shot down, first mission. We don't know if it was one. And then the other thing, only one time since then, I read, and the F-16s helped and did a good job together with a Mirage. That's it. Now, don't you think that if those F-16s will be lions in the sky, we will hear about it? But they don't. I don't think they even use them. If they use them somewhere when the Russians attack, they use them in the Polish side, you know, somewhere far, far in the west of Ukraine, just monitoring. And if a missile comes, it has time, like, I don't know, like 5 minutes for it to come over. So, we're going to hit it. But not right there by the border. I don't think so. Man, in all honesty, do you think that that plane designed in the 1960s, late 1960s, how many of you were freaking alive then? I'm not saying alive, but let's say you were 20. Were you 20 in 1960s? So remember, the war ended in 45. 55, 65, 20 years. The First World War, you know, the one with the Panzer and the Krieg, and Blitzkrieg and all the Wehrmacht and the Luftwaffe, those guys, It ended 20 years before these guys designed the great, so 20 years after the Messerschmitt 262, the first, how do you call it, jet, the German one, two propeller, and it was a Messerschmitt 262, the first one that flew over there. And they designed the F-16, 20 years. I mean, yeah, you upgraded, you updated it, but no, I don't think so. But it's good. They tried it. It failed, I think. It's fine. Bring a better one. And they have better ones than F-16s. The problem is this is a transfer of resources. The arms manufacturing companies, they will have to have new orders from the baboons in Denmark or other Netherlands who are quick to give their old garbage F-16s to the Ukrainians. Therefore, they're going to say, we're depleting, we have to update our military equipment, our weapons. And guess who's going to jump in? Lockheed Martin. Lockheed Martin is going to jump in with Raytheon, with Rheinmetall from Germany, from Boeing. All these guys going to, no problem, we're going to help you, but you got to pay. How do you pay? We're going to get some loans. From whom? From the international banking system. All right, and what do you use to build weapons? Energy. Where'd you get the energy? From the Americans, I'm talking about everywhere. In Europe, they kicked out the cheap Russian energy. So Rheinmetall works on expensive American energy, probably not on a freaking cheap Russian. So it's unfortunately, that's it's all about money, and with money you get power and control. That's it. So these guys who fight over there, who blame one another and who fight for values and all that, yeah, that's beautiful, but that's not what it's all about. It's about some other interest, nameless faces that are making tons of money, including the stock market. Remember, let's say Trump decides in his brain today, I think I'm going to strike Iran. Today, let's say he decides today, and he gives the information to some, and those give information to the guys, some guys in the stock market, the guys that are always better than all of us, and they go over there, and in 2 days, Trump says, okay, let's have we're going to strike them because they attack our ally in the Middle East. People who got the information 2 days before, they will do such transactions on the stock market. When this is going to be announced to all the rest of a boon like us, Donald Trump decided to do this. Those guys already made a transaction 2 days before. And then what? When this happens, when the stock market reacts, there were some smart guys over there who are good with the money and have a high IQ and are more moral than you and I. They will make billions of freaking dollars based on that information. Now imagine if that information is given by Mossad, all right? Or others, they have knowledge about it. Some people get real rich, and those people will give the money back to the same guys at one point. Or part of it. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just.